We work together. Last year, I stood on this bima at our podium during the martyrology service, where most have taken a break by then, and I announced that we were commemorating 50 years since the Yom Kippur War. I remember asking a few members of our synagogue who were there at that moment if they remember what it was like to be in this room when the Yom Kippur War occurred in 1973. Those who were literally here at that moment told me how they felt a deep purpose to protect the state of Israel and to ensure Israel's survival. I asked the cantor to sing the song that we will sing once again in the martyrology service, HaMilchama HaAcharona, Yoram Gaon's song called The Last War. 1 week later, 1,200 Israelis were murdered by Hamas, the most, as we know, Jews killed in one day since the Holocaust. 250 taken captive in Gaza. We will never forget our security guard from Sinai Temple, Oded, from Jerusalem. He came to us and he told us that he was going home to change his Sinai security uniform into a different uniform, one of the IDF.
But here was the problem. Oded told us that he wouldn't have time to find a bulletproof vest before he went into Gaza. And so we stood in our offices here at Sinai Temple as Mike De La Portas, the head of our security team, at that moment took off his own Kevlar vest and he put it on Oded. And the clergy surrounded Oded crying, blessing him with Birkat Kohanim that he should go to Israel, yes, protected by that vest, but also protected by the prayers given by all of you, our Sinai Temple community. As the days and weeks and months went by, we realized that all of a sudden, there was a new kind of Israel trip. No longer were people going to Israel to visit ancient stones, but instead we were witnessing enduring horror. On these missions, Israel participants did as best as we could. We held barbecues for soldiers when they got out of Gaza. We did our best to help mothers and children attempt to find a sense of normalcy, but how could they? And we supported orphans and widows. But as we returned to Los Angeles, we were faced with an important question. What would we bring home? What would we bring home to the diaspora? And what would we bring home to all of you, to Sinai Temple?
This year, when we filmed our membership video, which hopefully you all watched, we asked ourselves, who are we? Holding Israel in our hearts and faced with hatred screaming outside our doors here in America, the clergy were inspired by the last words of Wall Street journalist Daniel Pearl, who before he was murdered said, "I am a Jew." We knew what our message was going to be. I'm proud to be Jewish. And at Sinai Temple, we always will be. Over this past year, we have witnessed that pride time and time again. Nights of packing for the IDF and anything Israel with Rabbi Taff. On October 11th, Rabbi Taff was already on an airplane to Israel with those supplies. Just days later, we raised resources to purchase 2 armored ambulances for friends of the IDF. And on Thanksgiving weekend, we'll never forget that phone call we received from FIDF, that one of those ambulances with Sinai Temple's name on its side was responsible for bringing some of those hostages home. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were raised in partnership with the Jewish Federation of Los Angeles to immediately provide support for victims of terror. So as soon as they learned their loved ones were physically gone, Jews in Israel would know they are not alone. Every single Shabbat from this bima, we have hosted speakers from around the world. Philosopher Bernard Henri Levy, actress Patricia Heaton, Bishop Robert Stearns, Reverend Johnny Moore, Nova Exhibition CEO Josh Cadden, Nova survivors, injured IDF soldiers, families of hostages, and so many more important voices that want to be here, that want to join us because they know, and we all know, that Sinai Temple is a place where we amplify that message. the message that the Jewish people are a beacon of light for Israel and for the entire world.
And as your senior clergy, with your help, we will ensure that our light is not dimmed by a pervading darkness that surrounds, but grows stronger and brighter, because that is our calling. To be the light that brightens the Jewish world, that is the mission of Sinai Temple. This is only the beginning, because as you know, Jew hatred around the world seems loudest on college campuses. In August of 2023, Robert M. Barron passed away at the age of 97. He was a giant philanthropist of global magnitude who cared deeply about Jewish education. His daughter, Julie Platt, came to speak with us and said, "I want to make sure that every single one of our high school students at Sinai Temple will have the tools to go to any college campus they choose and be a Jewish leader." And with Julie and her family's generosity, we are proud this morning to announce the Barron Scholar Program. With 20 students in its initial cohort, and beginning fall of 2025, the Barron Scholar Program will expand nationally to include synagogues from all over the United States. These students will speak with and learn from world-renowned experts how to be the Jewish leader the world needs today. These students will engage in immersive experiences on college campuses and within different faith communities, understanding how to be a Jewish leader during one of the most difficult times in Jewish history. This is who we are at Sinai Temple, a synagogue where people of all ages gathers for conversations that matter, where they learn how to use their voice so that they too, whether they're at UCLA or Columbia University, whether they are faced with anti-Semitic or anti-Zionistic propaganda, they know as a Jew, you can make a difference. Barron scholars learn and will model, you must make a difference. We see Sinai Temple as both a home of sanctuary and as a place of action. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said, "Hope is not a passive thought, but hope is an action." To the Barrons and to the Platts, thank you for paving the way for the next generation of Jewish thinkers, Jewish activists, and lovers of the Jewish people. Because Sinai Temple is a place where we dream and a place where we build.
Last January, Sinai Temple members Judy and Tom Flesch also went to Israel. With the Los Angeles Jewish Federation, Rabbi Wolpe was on that trip, as well as other members of Sinai. When Tom returned, I will never forget what he told us, something that completely changed our perspective. He said, "Rabbi, Judy and I are children of Holocaust survivors, and we have just witnessed the worst evil and destruction since the Holocaust. But that is not what I want to bring home from the October 7th Israel. Instead, I want to bring home resilience, I want to bring home strength, I want to bring home inspiration, and I want to bring home hope." 15 years ago, Judy and Tom and Rabbi Wolpe had the foresight to create the Sinai Temple Israel Center, an Israel Center that brought education and travel and advocacy and culture to our community and beyond for almost the last 2 decades. 15 years ago, we could have never predicted the necessity of an Israel Center, both within our walls of Sinai Temple and beyond, educating, inspiring, uplifting Jews and uplifting non-Jews every single day. Certainly after October 7th, but we were there before. It has been the Sinai Temple Israel Center lifting our hearts and reminding us that Israel is our cornerstone, and we must do everything in our power to ensure the safety and sovereignty of our Jewish home. On Monday, like all of you, and Tuesday, we commemorated October 7th, and we mourned. But today is Yom Kippur, and we are going to focus on resilience. We are going to harness our strength, and we are going to create hope. Sinai Temple, today, Judy and Tom Flesch and family are proud to announce the naming gift of the Judy and Tom Flesh Family Sinai Temple Israel Center.
Through the dedication of the Flesh family, Sinai Temple will continue to be the leader in the Israel conversation within Los Angeles, throughout the United States, around the world, and in Israel itself. Judy and Tom, you have and continue to be visionaries of Sinai Temple, and this community is ready to follow your lead. October 7th forced us into turbulent conversations we never imagined last Yom Kippur. But we have also seen an unprecedented surge in Jewish life. Jews are flocking to Sinai Temple. Our membership has increased. Sinai Temple Religious School and Sinai Akiba Academy are flourishing. We have a great partner in Mount Sinai Memorial Parks and how they reach out to the greater community. Sinai Temple, it's no secret, we are proud to be Jewish. And we need your support today. Right now, to ensure that Sinai Temple is the core, the strength that our people need to be a light unto the nations, to continue to lead within the Jewish community and around the world. Give because you know that your gift, it's not merely one that will sustain us, but your gift is one that contributes to a community that is ensuring the vibrancy of a strong Jewish future.
And so what can you expect at Sinai Temple this year? You can expect Sinai Temple as the synagogue supporting and leading the conversation surrounding Israel and the Jewish people and being the central hub when it comes to Jewish life.
Thousands of children and adults will come through Sinai Temple and Sinai Akiba Academy, enjoying our newly renovated Jackie and Jeff Karsh Terrace, Mark Becker Patio, and Jonah's Playyard.
We look forward to discussions with Israel influencers such as activist Montana Tucker.
Through our mental health center, underwritten by the Frederick D. Rosen and Nadine Schiff Family Foundation, join us for an intimate conversation with mental health activist and Jewish supporter, Mayim Bialik. Also, through our mental health center, we are offering increased bereavement groups, groups for individuals and couples facing infertility, groups for individuals and couples facing postpartum concerns, and groups for caring for a loved one that is facing dementia.
In partnership with Mount Sinai Memorial Parks, join us for a world-class concert of Jewish music at the Wallace Theater, featuring cantors and musical artists from across the world, and our very own cantor Marcus Feldman.
There is a special ATEED Young Professionals Getaway with our acclaimed Ted and Hetty Orden and Family Friday Night Live Band, and monthly Orden Family Friday Night Lives that attract hundreds of young professionals in their 20s and 30s.
And you can expect programming for singles of all ages, learning and social events with empty nesters, as well as intergenerational programming, Shabbat dinners, musical Friday night services through our Sinai Live Fight Family series, dinners in the Sukkah, Simchat Torah dancing on Holmby Avenue.
Our David and Angela Nazarian Fellows will be attending the J&F conference in Dallas this year. Rabbi Wolpe is leading a young professionals trip with March of the Living in Poland. The clergy is planning family and adult trips to Israel, God willing, this summer.
There are social action initiatives each month for all ages to both help our community be a beacon of light to our surrounding neighbors.
And we are building Sinai Temple to be the premier synagogue for Jewish living and joy for our families with young children. Jason Meshes on Sukkot, Shabbat in the park, Shabbat in the shul, monthly Tot Shabbats. And we're bringing it back, weekly Shabbat babysitting.
We are proud of our enhanced programming and community building through all of the micro communities at Sinai, through Sisterhood and Men's Club, through Bikur Cholim, and the Tahara Circles.
The list goes on and on and on, but we're not tired. Okay, we're a little tired. But we come into Sinai Temple every single day inspired. We are inspired by each of you. We, along with our clergy, our fantastic team, our staff, our Sinai Temple Board of Directors, we collectively lead a community who deeply cares about being Jewish. We lead a community in which you tell us how much you care about Eretz Yisrael. We lead Sinai Temple, a synagogue who shows up not just for ourselves, but for them and for each other.
Sinai Temple is the beacon of resilience. We do not back down, but rather we stand up. We stand out with a resounding moral clarity, and we say, Am Yisrael Chai.
May the Jewish people and Israel and Sinai Temple endure for all time. Gamar Chatima Tova. Thank you.